Hello, I'm Coercer, and we will now watch the tiebreaker game between Agent B8factor and the BBI, the April Fool. The first game was quite a decisive win for Agent B8factor. The second game was quite close, but BBI, the April Fool, managed to squeak out a win. So now this game should be quite tense, and I can't wait to see exactly what happens. This game will be played on Thailand Passage. No, this game is not. This map is not played very often, but lately it has grown in popularity. At least in the ArtifactCup, we'll be watching this game from the perspective of Agent B8factor, and he has spawned down in the south as the Kanef, and BBI the April Fool has spawned up in the north as the coalition forces. Now let's take a look at what these players are doing. The April Fool has already sent out the base runner into the field, while Agent B8factor is maneuvering his carrier so that the salvagers will pop out quicker and won't have that much of a distance to cover when carrying resources back to the carrier. The production cruiser also producing more salvagers, so pretty standard stuff. But the base runner that Agent B8factor sent out earlier is producing blast drones. So I expect by now that the April Fool is going to anticipate that blast drones will be coming in. So he has an early light attack vehicle on the field, and if these units run into each other, there we go. The first blast drone is taken out, and that will put a pause to B8factor's blast drone attacks, since he does need 2 blast drones to take out any salvagers. There's another LAV out, just scouting around to see where that blast drone went. Agent B8factor is long hauling, and he is researching refinery mode for his production cruiser. So it seems that he is getting ready for a longer game. Let's see if he'll manage to get any good harassing with his blast drones, but the LAV is positioned quite well, and it seems that the April Fool is just trying to scout as much as possible to see where the blast drones might be coming from, and he's not going to try and stop the base runner. Well, with one LAV he won't be able to do it anyway. The April Fool is now long hauling from his second wreck. He has constructed another base runner, while Agent B8factor is researching assault ships, so that looks like he's playing a bit more defensively this time around. He probably doesn't want to bet everything on the rush working, especially since this is a tiebreaker game. So both players have captured an artifact, so it's 1-1, and the blast drones are now slowly moving in while the LAV is out of position, or well, dealing with base runner. Let's see if B8factor is going to get any value out of this. There we go, and boom, he takes out 2 salvagers, which is a good trade, especially since they also had some resources loaded onto them. Let's see. B8factor is producing another production cruiser, and he has started to build assault ships. which will deal quite neatly with these light attack vehicles. Now, if a blast drone takes out a LAV, that is still a good trade. Let's see if the April Fool will try and plop down a turret to maybe stop B8factor from moving through this area. And yes, he did just that. Assault ship is constructed in time to ward off any kind of LAV attacks, but with just one LAV, the April Fool really had no hopes of dealing any kind of real damage. B8factor now has 2 artifacts, which means he has 2 more energy points to spend for his carrier. The assault ship has encountered the turret post in the middle of the desert and is taken out quite quickly. Now hopefully B8factor won't keep sending units in this direction, because that turret post can deal a lot of damage to any light units or single assault ships. You'll have to use more units to take that out if he wants to take it out, or maybe if he moves in with the Knaff carrier close enough to fire missiles at that location to take it out. Now, B8factor has research power reserve 1, so he has even more power in the reserve, and both of these artifact collection points are now being contested. The assault ships of B8factor are moving in to take out the base runner, and B8factor's base runner is producing blast drones and just exploding them on the base runner that's right next to it. 2 railguns are moving in, and those should take care of the base runner quite quickly, especially if they have the high ground advantage. The base runner manages to get away, hiding just over the dune, but that turret post could be our problem for B8factor, but it was already damaged by the assault ships, so that went down quite quickly. B8factor is now on 3 resource locations, so he really is going for the macro game, and he should ramp up his production quite soon. He is producing a siege cruiser while all of this skirmishing here was going on. He has researched siege cruisers. Now the Knaff siege cruisers are different from the Galcian variant, because they have a very strong AoE attack, but they lack the indirect fire capability of the usual Galcian siege cruiser. Now that we have 4 railguns moving in from the April Fool, and as long as these assault ships can't use any kind of cover to get close to them and fire them directly, they will have to pull back. Now the Knaff siege cruiser is quite good against massed units, can take them out very quickly, but it is quite slow to turn, and that basically means that it can be flanked quite effectively. So B8factor has used his siege cruisers' artillery barrage ability to attack the extraction zone. That could have been better used on that army that is going to move in through the middle there. But I guess it will recharge in time anyway. Probably a bit of a waste for just a base runner, and it survived in any case. B8factor has now also produced 4 interceptors, and it looks like he's planning on building 6 of them. But BBI the April Fool has anticipated that, since he saw the assault ships on the field. Now, a usual combo from Galcian and Knaff players is, if you start with assault ships, you pretty much move into air units, since the costs of the units tend to complement each other quite well, and you can build assault ships and get a sizable air force out. Now another artillery barrage going down here, and B8factor really hates that base radar. And it goes down. I'm not sure if anything else was killed here, but well, at least that was a kill. B8factor also has some sand skimmers moving around the other side of the map, looking to do some harass in the main base of the April Fool. But B8factor has stored up that's 9 interceptors or 10 interceptors very shortly, and maybe he will just go for the carrier snipe. Interceptors are pretty good against carriers. They are not good against fast moving ground targets, but it seems that he's going to focus down all of the railguns with the interceptors to remove any kind of threat to his carrier, and I expect him to move in with the carrier and land missiles on the April Fool's coalition carrier, which can be quite devastating. Another artillery barrage going down, and this time it's hitting quite a lot of the April Fool's army. More interceptors being launched by Agent B8factor, and he's also sneaking in another artifact while the April Fool is maneuvering his forces. B8factor is now moving his interceptors to the side of the map, I assume, so he will be able to hit the resourcing operation back in the main of BBI April Fool. He is focusing on the turret post, which could have he could have just ordered the interceptors to kill the support cruiser, and that would have basically shut down that resourcing operation. The April Fool has quite a sizable armor at the moment, and B8factor seems comfortable just waiting for the right opportunity to strike. He's building up his forces. Looks like he's going for sand skimmers, assault ships, and mixing in more siege cruisers. Currently both players seem to be hanging back. They both don't want to rush in head first, and BBI, the April Fool, could probably use a couple of probes from these base runners so he can see what's going on and where the Knaff carrier is. The sand skimmers will make short work of these base runners, even with the third post there, and those artifacts are probably going to be lost. Now BBI April Fool has lost pretty much his entire army to some artillery barrages, and the Knaff carrier is now firing missiles directly. Another artillery barrage coming in. It looks like he's going to miss most of the units and the carrier of the April Fool, but Agent B8factor is quite good with getting hits in with the Knaff carrier missile system, and now he's going in for the kill. This force of sand skimmers backed up with the assault ships are going to make short work of anything that's in the main base of the April Fool. The railguns have been left out to dry by the April Fool. If he had his carrier here to back up this, the sand skimmers could be taken out quickly, but now B8factor is just using the sand skimmers to scout to see exactly where the units are, and then just sticking them out with his missile systems, with artillery barrages, and decimating the April Fool's forces. April Fool has gone back to defend, but there really is nothing to defend here. So that was probably a mistake on his part, unless he is hoping to take out as many units as possible with his carrier. I just think that his carrier would be better positioned somewhere to where he could threaten B8factor's resourcing, or just try and stop him from moving the Knaff carrier too far into the map. And now 3 siege cruisers up for B8factor, and if those get off, good barrages on the carrier and on the April Fool's forces, that could be quite devastating. B8factor is researching the power reserve upgrade, so we'll have even more power to play with. Currently he's using the interceptors just to scout around, it seems. Another wing of interceptors going in to take out the railguns. I guess he really doesn't want another game like last time, where a single railgun basically helped BBI April Fool to win. The April Fool has managed to research and build 2 battle cruisers. Now, if those battle cruisers get into range and start dealing damage to the Knaff carrier, this game will be over very quickly. Coalition battle cruisers are very tanky and they deal a lot of damage, but it seems that the cloud of interceptors, sand skimmers, is just going to take out the missile batteries, and B8factor will be able to slowly grind down these battle cruisers with his air units. Of course, if he's careful, he can land some good missile hits, and if his siege cruisers are close enough, he can just barrage everything in this area. There we go. And that should also deal some good damage both to the carrier and to the battle cruisers. B8factor is wisely keeping his distance. He misses a barrage of missiles, but now this is pretty close once more. If those battle cruisers can get close enough to the Knaff carrier to deal damage to it, that could be quite bad for B8factor. Now, luckily for B8factor, he has a pretty big air force, and at the moment there's nothing here that can take down his interceptors, so he can just keep his distance, bomb the carrier and the battle cruiser, which with the siege cruisers, with the interceptors. And once those battle cruisers are taken care of, he can move in with his units, and all he has to worry about then is the carrier of the April Fool. B8factor has managed to capture a 4th artifact, and he's going to capture the 5th artifact, and that will secure his win. That was quite a hectic game, I have to say. I had some trouble keeping up with all the action. This was quite interesting. I mean, if those battle cruisers would have popped up closer to the actual battle, or in the middle of the map, this could have ended quite badly for Agent B8factor. Now, I've seen some coalition players research battle cruiser tech, put 2 battle cruisers into production, and then moving with the carrier as close as they can to the enemy, and then the battle cruisers basically pop out right next to, for example, a resourcing operation, or next to a enemy carrier, and they can deal some significant damage very quickly. And since it's quite hard to take them down, that can mean a 1 game if you manage to pull that off. Now, the April Fool could have won this game, but Agent B8factor was very on point with his artifact captures, and that brought him victory. Well, that finishes round 1 of ArtifactCup number 24. BBI the April Fool is eliminated from the tournament, and Agent B8factor moves on to the next round. Thank you for watching.